set out at the crack of dawn that day for an ice fishing weekend at the Butler family cabin in Salmon Cove, which was about a 3-hour drive from Bar Harbor. When Mona's mother, Jane, realized her husband had left his bottle of high-dosage lisinopril pills behind, she had tried calling him to turn around and come back. But like Mona, Bubba usually turned his phone off whenever he embarked on a road trip in order to shut out the outside world and focus on his time alone and quiet peace of mind. Jane slipped into a panic, with visions of poor Bubba clutching his chest out on the ice and dropping dead from a massive coronary. Mona tried calming her mother down, explaining he would most likely be fine for a couple of days, but Jane was not having it. She had demanded Mona immediately get in her truck and personally hand-deliver her father's life-saving medicine to him. Mona at first tried calling the local pharmacy in Salmon Cove to see if they could help, but given the town's tiny population, especially during the cold winter months, it turned out to be already closed for the whole weekend. Mona had finally relented and agreed to drive down to Salmon Cove, but managed to strong-arm Hayley into accompanying her. The plan was to arrive around 6 with Bubba's meds, spend the night, then set out in the early hours back to Bar Harbor, allowing Bubba his much-cherished solitude until his return home Sunday night. Mona had not been back to Salmon Cove in years. She had spent many summers at the family cabin and even had a childhood romance with a local boy, Corey Guildford, which had been rekindled when she, Hayley, and Liddy had traveled there for a girls' weekend away and had gotten mixed up in the suspicious death of a visiting travel writer. Corey tragically perished in a lobster boat accident, and Mona had returned for the memorial service and adopted Corey's golden retriever, Sadie, who was still alive and well. Mona was so grief-stricken by the loss of Corey, she could not bring herself to return to Salmon Cove. Until today. Hayley suspected Mona pressuring her to tag along on this quick there-and-back trip was for some much-needed emotional support. Although Mona rarely displayed feelings other than what could best be categorized as annoyed or really annoyed, Hayley instinctively knew that she had never fully gotten over Corey. Especially now that she had divorced her deadbeat couch potato husband Dennis after over 25 years of marriage and was free to explore a new relationship. It was so sad to think of the lost opportunity with Corey. Hayley had been a first-hand witness to the close bond that had formed between the two when they reunited 6 years ago. Hayley glanced over at Mona, who was no longer tapping along to the Van Halen song that was now playing on the radio. She was staring straight ahead at the empty road, her eyes glistening, no doubt thinking about the late Corey Guildford the closer they got to Salmon Cove. Shivering, Hayley asked, "Mind if I turn up the heat a little bit? I'm freezing." "Suit yourself," Mona grumbled, her lead foot pressing down on the accelerator some more. Hayley glanced at the speedometer. It was back to hovering near 70 miles an hour. "Mona, I don't mean to be a pest, but if you're not careful, we're going to be pulled over for speeding." Mona sighed. "Would you stop worrying so much, Hayley? We're not going to get pulled over. There's no one else on the road for miles. You're always worst-case scenario." Just then, through the rearview mirror, both of them could plainly see a flashing blue light closing in on them from behind. "You've got to be kidding me," Mona cried. "What's the speed limit?" 55. You're going 70. The cops never pull you over for going a mere 10 miles over the speed limit. What kind of speed trap is this? You're going 15 miles over the speed limit, and the whole cops never pull you over for going only 10 miles over the speed limit is just a myth. It's true. It's a thing. It's not a thing, Mona. Sergio told me so. What does he know? Hayley bit her tongue. Her brother-in-law had been the police chief of Bar Harbor going on 20 years now. She was reasonably confident he knew a thing or two about the habits of law enforcement. The light blue squad car was right on their tail now. "Mona, I really think you should pull over." "I think I can outrun 'em." "Mona, don't." "I'm just joshing you."